Hey everybody, it's Josh. Say we got week one football, and I promised you guys that I'd get some picks out to you. And so I'm going to get these running. Hopefully, be able to uh, kind of help you guys become profitable on the week, and hopefully helps me become profitable. I want to go through some of these plays if you're interested in playing Draftkings. Um, I think it's a really fun way to be able to enjoy the football games more than just watching them. It gives you a little bit of rooting interest, and the nice thing is they got free contests, 25 centers, dollar contests. If you gotta get big, they got them up to 1,500, 1,600. You can play $5,300 Thunderdome tournament if you want. You will not see me in that tournament whatsoever. But I wanted to run through these picks, hopefully help you guys out, hopefully let you guys become profitable. So let's take a look and let's get going. All right, we got week one. I'm going to run through these games here. We got Arizona. They're going to travel to Detroit. Arizona's favored by 1.5, and they've got an implied team total, which is 24.8. And what that means is Vegas is expecting them to score roughly around 24 to 25 points. It helps us kind of get an idea of what the money is sitting on, what the sharp money out in Vegas is sitting on, to help us kind of determine if they're going to score a lot of points, if we want to start targeting offensive players in this game. A couple things quick on that. Detroit, god awful on defense. They're 32nd against the pass last year. They were 19th against the rush, 29th against running backs coming out of the backfield. They cannot cover the wide receiver 1 position, nor can they cover the wide receiver 2 position, 26 and 21. And tight end has basically they haven't been able to cover that for years. So they ranked 29th in there. Unfortunately, Arizona, I don't trust their tight end situation. I know a lot of people got on Gresham last year late. That's something I am going to fade this week. It's week one. Here's the strategy on week one. At least my strategy is play the people that you know can make plays. Don't try to guess and don't try to overthink it. A lot of times what people do is what ifs. Well, what if does work, but it's basically almost always going to be a losing coin flip. Play your studs. Play the people who you saw in preseason, who had good camps, who who have data on that what they can do. And after week 4, now we can start to, evolve and thinking this wheel here. So I'm going to play DJ. You know that. You're going to play DJ. If you're not playing DJ, you're doing something wrong. Unless you're playing Bell. I have no arguments with going there, but it's DJ or Bell for me. One interesting note on this game is Larry Fitzgerald played like 62% out of the slot last year. 62% in the slot. He faces Quandre Diggs. Quandre Diggs he's hot garbage. Just absolutely hot garbage. I'm going to take that. I'm going to roll that in cash games. I'm probably going to fade that in tournaments just because his ownership is going to be so high. However, at 5,900, I want to say that's what Larry's at. It's an absolutely just phenomenal spot for him. So I've got him on my early season list here. You can look. You can see I started putting together. This is right at the beginning of the week. I kind of write them down just to make sure that I've got a list of people I want to start checking into. So I did research on these guys. I've done more research on a couple other people, but it was just to get me started and moving in the right direction. So then on the Detroit side, we've got Detroit. Their implied team total is 23.3. But Arizona has a good defense. They drafted another good safety, so they're going to move the Honey Badger. He's going to play up in the corner. So it'll be him and Peterson. And we're kind of getting a couple different reports out there if Peterson's going to shadow Golden Tate or not. If he shadows Golden Tate, I mean, I'm not playing Golden Tate regardless, but if he does shadow Golden Tate, he's a no play for me. He's an absolute no play. Matthew Stafford's a no play. Oh, I forgot to touch on this too. I am going to play Carson Palmer this week. I think he's got a dead arm. I don't think he's a very good quarterback anymore. But I am going to tell you, I do think that he's going to be better than he was last year. He's got a good price tag, and I could see him going out here 250, 260, and 2 to 3 touchdowns. Because David Johnson gets most of the work inside the 20. However, Arians still likes to throw the ball quite a bit inside the 20 and inside the 10. And I'm just gonna kind of take that, and hopefully that transitions into a couple passing touchdowns instead of rushing touchdowns. Not gonna play him in cash games. I'm gonna play him in some tournament games. Anyways, back to the Detroit side. I'm basically fading this. You can see on the screen here, Arizona. They're good. They were number 3 overall, 3 against the pass, 7 against the rush, 1 against the running backs coming out. Where they did struggle a little bit was wide receiver 2. However, Honey Badger was out last year, so that's going to be kind of one of those stats that I'm hoping that a lot of people may see and then gravitate towards. Maybe want to play Marvin Jones, which I did put him on my list. Yeah, Marvin's right here. I put him on my list, and then I crossed him off right away when I got on there. So I'm going to fade that game completely, or the Detroit side completely. I do have one sneaky play from the Detroit side. If you subscribed, you already have that play. I just think game script wise, they literally might be from behind having to catch up and dumping off passes to the running back. That is the only position that I looked at, but I'm only going to put in, I would say 2 positions, maybe 2 lineups, I should say, where I'm going to feature a Detroit running back. And that is just in the hopes of, when you're entering 150 lineups to get, maybe hit that one, that 1 in 100 shot there. All right, let's get to the next game. We got Atlanta at Chicago. Atlanta's favored by 7, implied total of 28. I like Julio. Love Julio in this spot, actually. The Chicago Bears adjusted defense against the run was 29th, but they actually played a lot more stout last year than it may show on paper. I'm not going to play Freeman. Shanahan's gone. I'm not sure exactly what this new coordinator is going to do with his running backs. I know when Shanahan took over, he started featuring Freeman more and Tevin Coleman out of the backfield. He also liked motioning that fullback quite a bit. I'm just going to stay away until I see what he's going to do. The one thing that I know no offensive coordinator is not going to do is they're not going to get Julio Jones the football. So for me, he goes up against Prince Amukamara. Amukamara has a speed to stay with him. He does not have. He's 20 pounds lighter than he is. He gives up 3 inches, and Julio can beat bracket coverage. He's legitimately probably the best receiver in the game. And so what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to play Julio. The Bears can't defend the left-hand side of the field. At least they couldn't last year. I'm going to assume that's going to stay the same exact way, and that's where Julio lines up about 50% of the time. I'm going to take him up on that. And, yeah, I can see Julio 110 and a touchdown. So I'm going to play all the Julio in this game. One other thing that you might want to look at, the Bears aren't very good against a tight end. Maybe an Austin Hooper sneaky play. I don't have him in any of my lineups at this point. I'm going to go back and look here tonight and Saturday and check out and see if that may or may not fit into my lineup construction. We get over to the Chicago side, and yeah, so they're implied as 21 points. Like I said, they're 7-point dog. They were real bad last year when they got behind on running the ball. They ended up throwing, and I don't have the percentages with me, but like 70% of the time, 70% of the time. And that just does not favor Jordan Howard. He's not this gliding. He's a gliding back, but he's not known for his pass catching. He does catch balls out of the backfield, but I don't see him being a big part of that. I do see Jordan Howard early. Chicago trying to pound the ball, manage that clock, keep the plays in their favor, and limit the amount of offensive exposure Atlanta gets. So I do have Jordan Howard as a potential play, but other than that, I hear people talking about Kendall Wright. It's 3,200. Where are the targets going to go? People forget that Atlanta secondary, it was better last year than what some of the stats say. I mean, yeah, look at this. You adjust for them, and they were 11, 8, 12. They when you look at the defense versus position, they were low, but when you actually adjust it to a common opponent, you got to remember they played. Granted that Carolina wasn't that good, but they still had to play Mike Evans twice. They had to play Brandon Cooks, Michael Thomas twice, and then you run through. They played the Packers last year, so I mean that's a really tough wide receiver core. That's real easy to get beat down. I'm a Vikings fan, and man, the Packers did something over on us on Christmas. So other than that, though, I'm just staying away. Kevin White. He's not. He just doesn't have it. Maybe he's got something and he's just saving it for the regular season. I'm out. I'm out on the Chicago game. I'll let you play maybe Zach Miller if you really are looking for some roster savings. But other than that, I'm out. Let's get to Baltimore, Cincinnati. Baltimore, boring Joe Flacco. They are 3-point dogs. A team total less than 20. They go to Cincinnati. Not a lot I like. Yeah, I get Macklin out of the slot. He draws one of the two cornerbacks. I think it's Darquez Denard, the one from Michigan State. Yeah, I can see it. I don't see him scoring a touchdown. 7 balls, 50 yards, something like that. That's a 12 spot. It's just not for me. There's not enough touchdown equity here. I'm off everybody on the Ravens. On the other side, I was off everybody for Cincinnati. I'm going to tell you right now, they're good against the tight end. Baltimore is. I'm not playing Tyler Eifert, and his stat line isn't that good against Baltimore. But Cincinnati they're favored by 3, 22 total. So we're above that 22 mark. That's where I like to be. That running back situation, you want to play Mixon, you want to play Hill, you want to play Gio, go right ahead. You can hit me up in my head-to-head games and play them all you want. I feel confident enough that there's just nothing going on there, and Baltimore's really good against the run. The one guy that I'm going to play, and I talked myself into him, and now I've got more exposure to him than I thought at the beginning of the week. I don't even think he's on my... Yeah, he didn't even make it onto my first list when I started looking through any of this stuff, and that's AJ Green. Give me all the AJ. Nobody's on him. Less than 10% ownership, and he's torched Baltimore. And the one thing is, Baltimore has a really good defense. They do not have good corners. Their pass defense, it may look good when you look at it on paper. Yeah, 7th, and 3. But I'm telling you right now, I've watched those guys. Those guys have got burned. And AJ Green is a stud. I think Julio's the best receiver. Right behind him is AJ, Antonio, those guys. Let's see. We got next game up. We got, Buffalo, New York. Shady. I'm not even going to waste my time on it. Shady. If you want to throw McCoy out there, that's great. Guy can. They're going to pound him. They're going to run him till the wheels fall off. I wouldn't be surprised. Week 7, week 8, he's hurt. So, other than that, you guys want to play somebody out of there? I'm not touching that game. Game I am very interested in right here is Carolina, San Francisco. Game script, everything kind of sets up perfectly the way I want it to. I see Carolina, they're 5.5 favorites. They got a 26-point implied total. They're going all the way over to San Francisco, which was just god-awful on defense last year. New coach, new coordinator, new system, new players. You just never know how that's all going to come together. That's their defensive coordinator. He was a linebackers coach. Was he a linebackers coach? I want to say he's the linebackers coach from Jacksonville. He had those guys. They look good. They look good in the preseason. They drafted Solomon Thomas. Still don't know what they're going to do. They got Reuben Foster. They've added on defense, but you know what? Give me all the Christian McCaffrey. I think they're going to line him up. I think they're going to motion him out of the backfield, line him up in the slot. They're going to run goofy plays with him. I think they really want to get him the ball. Carolina's terrible at actually getting the ball to their running backs. Still doesn't matter. I still want a lot of Christian McCaffrey. This is the 32nd run defense, and it wasn't close. Their run defense was so bad last year. I want to say they 40 yards or so, 40-some yards, better or worse than the next team at 31. So even if you do draft enough to shore that up, what's that doing? Going to get you to the middle of the pack. So give me all that. The one guy that I like, Greg Olsen went off last year. I will tell you that. I don't like Greg Olsen in this situation. That's me. If you play him, I can't fault you for it. I just think that they got some good safeties that can cover him. And if they do put a linebacker on it, yeah, Greg Olsen is faster than those linebackers, but they're still good linebackers with good safeties over top. So I think they can eliminate that a little bit. What I do want is you can give me all the shares of Kelvin Benjamin, every single share of Kelvin Benjamin, and I will take them. I will gladly take them. Not a lot of people are on him. They still think he's fat. He didn't look fat to me in the preseason. You got to remember, he hurt his knee late in the year. He came back. This is 2 years ago. He came back. Okay. Now he's back. He's still a little sluggish. I mean, Jordy wasn't perfect towards, right away. Well, Benjamin had some weight on there. I think that really hampered him. Give me all the Kelvin Benjamin that I can get. Say ownership's going to be 10% on him. I might be 40%. It's scary. But if that 40% hits, I'm going to be way ahead of the field, and I'm going to be feeling good because I want to say Kelvin Benjamin, he's 5,900, 6,000, somewhere like that on DK. So give me that. On the other side, I think Carolina's going to get up. I think it's going to be closer than most people think. I think Shanahan's offense, I think he's going to find ways to get Hyde into the ball game. He's one that I love. Garcon, he's on mine. He's going to be a PPR monster in this game. I don't know if he gets a touchdown, but his price justifies, 8 catches for 75 yards. And I think Hyde, they're going to try to make Carlos Hyde what Devontae Freeman was. And I think Shanahan will put them in a good situation. I do think they're going to be coming from behind at the end, but they're going to be dumping the ball off to Hyde. They're going to want to hit Garcon. And, yeah, I love this game. Might be my favorite game on this slate. The more I talk it out, the more I get intrigued by this. At Cleveland, Pittsburgh, the Myles Garrett news really hurts. That really hurt. If Myles Garrett was playing, I'd have a lot less shares of the Pittsburgh game. Now that he's not, man, that pass rush is exactly the same as it was last year. I mean, one good edge rusher can completely change how a game is played. Jamar Taylor, he supposedly is going to shadow Antonio Brown. I doubt he does. Antonio, he's good on the road. He's good away. It all comes down to Ben. Do you trust Ben? I keep thinking that these home and road splits are fictional. They're not. Every time he goes on the road, he puts up a stinker. He just doesn't do good on the road. He does get Martavis Bryant back. Everybody's on that train. I'm having shares of him because I'm not going to miss out if I'm wrong. If his ownership comes in 15%, I'm going to be under the field. Maybe 10% owned. He's a guy that can put up a 30 spot real quick. But if Martavis puts up a 15 spot, you're no worse than going with anybody else. I just do not know how he's going to be. I mean, he hasn't played football and he didn't get any preseason or camp work. He was suspended. So to me, that's tough. That's real tough. You come in and yeah, he might be in shape, but he's not in football shape. And that's the same thing with Lev Bell. I just don't know. I just don't know if Le'Veon is going to be 100% in shape. Yeah, he's probably going to gash those guys. But if a stat line comes out that he had 89 yards and 6 receptions for 55, you're still behind on value. I mean, he's got to hit on that price tag. He's almost got to hit 30 points to justify paying up for him. And for me, that's just, I can get that shady exposure and probably get the same amount of points. I'm going to save myself 12. Well, no, Lev Bell is expensive, so I'm actually going to save myself $1,600. Week 1, I'll take it. If that gets me LaShawn and AJ, LaShawn and Julio, I'll take it. On the other side, I'm sneaking Corey Coleman in there. We saw what he could do week 1 last year. I think Kaiser wants to throw deep. Coleman can run deep. And I'm actually playing Kaiser. Do I think Kaiser's going to be, this awesome guy? He's going to come out, throw 400 yards and 4 touchdowns? No, but he can run the ball. And that's a statistic that I look at when I look at my quarterbacks more than most, is I like a quarterback who can run. It's cheap points. It's free points. From there, I will, by all means, I'll take a deep ball. And if we can get, I think Kaiser, 14 points or something like that to hit value. If I can get 18 points out of him, and because they're going to be coming from behind, so he's got to throw the football. And if they get behind big early, most likely Pittsburgh will loosen up their coverage a little bit. It allows for cheaper touchdowns because they're just going to keep burning that clock. They're going to keep letting Cleveland put these bigger drives together. So I'm gonna be on the Kaiser train. I don't want anything to do with the running backs. Pittsburgh doesn't have a good run defense. Everybody thinks they do. They don't. I just think they're going to be behind, which is going to put them in a negative game script. So that's the only reason that I'm fading Crowell this game. I do have him. Did I put him on here? No, I didn't. Okay. Let's keep rolling here. We got the Cowboys-Giants night game. Maybe Evan Ingram. That's all I'm playing. I'm playing nobody else from this game. If you want more in-depth on it, go ahead, take a look. I don't want anything to do with it. The games are always close. They're never explosive. OBJ sounds like he's not going to give it a go, or if he does, it's going to be limited. Yeah, Dallas has some turnover in that secondary, and if OBJ was healthy, I would be playing him. Just don't think he is. Brandon Marshall is a target out there. I don't want any form of Zeke Bell. I don't want any Dez Bryant. New York had a really good defense last year. From as bad as they were in years past, they were really good. So I want nothing to do with that game. Another huge game right here. Green Bay, 3-point favorites at home, 26 total. They take on Seattle. Here's how I'm going to break this down. Seattle has a very good defense. How do you beat Seattle? You beat them with tight ends, which brings me to who's Aaron Rodgers' new weapon? Martellus Bennett. So if Martellus Bennett and Aaron Rodgers can click, I'm going to run a lot of Martellus out there, especially with the chalk. Probably going to be Zach Ertz from the Eagles. I'm going to shift off of there and feel like people are either going to pay for those bigger people, Jimmy Graham, Delaney Walker, which I do love. And I'm gonna roll with Martellus Bennett. Don't like too much else on the Packers, except for there's one thing. Richard Sherman doesn't shadow. Okay, they each play sides. And I'm gonna butcher his name. I know there's Jeremy Lane, and there's one other guy. God, he's kind of he's the unknown factor to me. I'll have a few shares. I'm not gonna have a ton. I still don't believe in him as much, but he's kind of a sneaky play. You might want to look at that. On the other side, you got Seattle. That's Green Bay's bad. Green Bay is really bad against the pass, and they didn't do any favors. They went out and drafted Kevin King. Still didn't earn a spot. So you can fire up Doug Baldwin. You can fire up Russell Wilson. And my sneaky guy is Paul Richardson. For some reason, they loved Jermaine Kearse out there, and they were willing to get rid of him. And that's because Paul Richardson took that job. And he's going to go balls out. I heard one guy say once that Paul Richardson will give you everything you have, but he'll be hurt by week 4 because he just does not know how to slow down. And I see it when you watch him, but I'm taking that chance. He's super cheap on DK, and I don't think he's a punt. I think he's a great play this week. I want nothing to do with that running game for Seattle. Jimmy Graham, the Packers aren't great against the tight ends. I still think they're going to be better. This isn't a Graham game for me. So I'm not going to play any Jimmy Graham this week, but I do see Jimmy Graham having just an absolute monster year. We got to get rolling here. We got Houston at Jacksonville. Maybe Fedorowicz, if you're really looking for some cap relief. So one area on defense that Jacksonville's not great at. They have 2 solid cornerbacks, and everybody keeps remembering how bad Blake Bortles is. They forget that that defense is really good out there. I have no interest in this game. Houston side, no interest in this game. Outside of the Texans defense, I mean, Bortles is going to throw one. He can't help himself. He doesn't know how to play quarterback. Pains me to say it because I drafted him in one of our leagues where we actually draft real players, rounds 1 through 7. And yeah, so now I'm looking for a quarterback. Anyways, here's another game I absolutely love. Only on one side though. Indianapolis at Los Angeles. Listen, Sharp Money went and bet the Rams were 3.5-point dogs. As soon as Luck was ruled out, they became 3.5-point favorites. Yeah. Give me all the Gurley. Give me some Sammy in some tournaments. I've heard people say Jared Goff. I can't get there. I can't get there until I see it. However, Todd Gurley is, man, that defense is so bad. So freaking bad in Indy. So bad. Yeah, just do that. One of the other people that I'm looking at is a sneaky tournament play is, I think, honestly, it's Tyler Higbee for the Rams as a tight end. Colts are terrible against defending the tight ends. Young quarterbacks love their tight ends. They're the safety blanket. And there's a reason why they let Lance Kendricks go. It wasn't, they didn't do anything to really try to sign him. So that's it. Colts side, nothing. I hear the word Jack Doyle pop up. I want nothing to do with it. Scott Tolzien is terrible. You go ahead and take it. Again, you want to take that. Hit me up for some head-to-heads. I'll play you. Yeah, we've got, let's skip through. I'm not doing the Monday night games. Don't play them. The other big game, we got 2 games left, I think. Yeah, we got 2 games left, and I'll tell you what, we got Oakland at Tennessee. Vegas standards say this is supposed to be the highest scoring game. Can't argue with it. I don't know if Tennessee's as explosive as they showed last year. I know they're not as bad as some people think. I heard one guy say he thought Mariota's not a good quarterback, and I just wanted to tell him to get the F out of here. But here's the deal: is Tennessee, you can't run on them, so you got to sit Lynch. I mean, they're just stout against the run, absolutely stout against the run. You can pass all day long. They drafted help in the secondary. They listen, the guy they signed, I want to say it's Logan Ryan. So if you go back and actually look, Logan Ryan was on the Patriots, and people were like, "Whoa, I can't believe they let him go." Well, he wasn't really that good for the Patriots. He played a lot of slot. How do you beat the Patriots? You throw against the slot. I mean, it's just that's the playbook. That's how you beat them. Uh, so he goes over. He's not going to help them out. They're not going to be any better. I forget. I think they signed one safety, which was actually a good signing. I can't remember who it was. And then they drafted a Dory Jackson. Now, if Dory Jackson plays, I'm throwing against him nonstop, and I will take Cooper and Carr all day long. They won't be able to run. I think Derek Carr is just going to be an absolute beast in this league. And I'm not as high on Amari Cooper as some other people are, but they play man defense out in Tennessee, and the one thing I saw was Amari Cooper crushes man defense. And you do that, and you give me a rookie who's playing who doesn't have a lot of confidence, it could just be a feasting day for Amari. I have no doubt that I'm going to take there. On the other side, I don't know who I'm going to take. I'm going to tell you one thing that I do know about that is Oakland is really bad against a tight end. Okay? They improved from where they used to be, but they're still in the bottom third. Give me all the Delaney. He's been with Mariota now 2 seasons. They know each other. Mariota loves throwing to him, and I just don't see a situation where I'm not going to play some Delaney Walker. The receiver side, I hear Rashard Matthews, fine. I can get behind it. It's just not for me. The reason it's not for me is it's just not for me because I don't know how Eric Decker, Corey Davis, and these other receivers that they have are going to shake out. I just don't know how they're gonna go. Are they going to run the ball? Are they going to throw to DeMarco Murray? We don't know. Derrick Henry, he's a sit. I'm staying away from that game. Just absolutely staying away. Excuse me, I'm not staying away from that game. I'm just staying away from their wide receivers, and I'm not going to play any of their running backs just because I can't look at it and come up with a good game script of how it's supposed to go. Final game here. This is a weird one for me. Eagles, Washington. They both have high totals. I just don't see it. Carson Wentz last year was not good on the road. Washington, I don't think Washington's good at all. I think they kind of lucked into the playoffs last year. They're not good against the pass. I mean, Josh Norman is. Not that good against the run, and not that great against the tight end either. Zach Ertz is mega chalk. He's $3,500. I mean, everybody's going to be playing him. I might not play Zach Ertz in a single tournament game, and if it comes back to bite me, fine. But if he's 30-40% owned and he duds, I'm not going to be ahead of the field by 30-40% just because he's so cheap. But when it comes down to positioning at the end, those 10 points matter. I was in a big tournament last year where the difference between 250,000 and 10,000 was 15 points. So every point matters. The other side, I want Terrell Pryor. Everybody's on him. He had a good game against the Eagles last year. I just don't think Kirk Cousins comes flying out of the gate. I think I don't think they have enough chemistry between those two. That's me. I got to play a little bit of Pryor just because I have to have some sort of exposure to him when I'm playing in these tournaments. I'm not sold on him. I'm not going to have very many shares of him. I'm going to tell you that right now. So hopefully this kind of helps you out and shows you there's a lot of things I go through to get to where we're at this point in the week. tonight I'm probably going to crack open, have a couple beers, and start to do my lineups. I'll revise them through Saturday. And then I'll get up right away Sunday morning, and I go to about 10:30, and then I shut down. I don't want to look at them anymore unless there's inactives. You overthink things too much at the end. So I'm hoping this helps you. I know it's long. There's a lot of games this week. I'm going to try to cover this in a little bit better format going forward. But I had to get them out. I mean, it's Friday. We got to make some money. So hopefully this works. You can obviously see on your screen, I left this up the entire time, so you have this chart. Again, you want some of my in-depth analysis, which I feel is fairly in-depth, email me. It's free. It's joshuadbroadwater@gmail.com. Send me an email. I send it out. For anybody who uses Gmail, it goes to your promotions box. So make sure you check it there. You got any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. You can look me up on Twitter. It's @JDBroadwater. I'm on there all the time. I can give you my Facebook, but Facebook's dead to me. It's more for pictures of my kids. If you guys want to look at pictures of my kids, by all means, go ahead. But anyways, yeah, hopefully we have a good week one. I'm going to review some lineups either Monday, probably Tuesday, because we're going to have still some Monday games, and I don't want to go through all of them. I didn't play any Monday slate, not going to play any Monday slate. But yeah, this is Josh Broadwater, and man, I hope you guys get a good week this week. All right, I'm out. See ya.